Before I bring in my first guest, I want to bring to your attention what's been happening in the Northern Territory Police Force. The upper echelons of the organisations have been likened to a circus, not the rank and file members working at the coalface, but the leadership. The background to this is the trial of Constable Zach Rolfe, who was acquitted in March last year on a charge of murdering Indigenous man Kumanjayi Walker in Yuendumu in 2019. Rolfe, who had been attempting to arrest Walker, shot him in self-defence after he was stabbed with a pair of scissors. It was a charge that should have never been brought in the first place, and it raised serious questions about whether the police leadership unduly influenced the decision to arrest Rolfe. Such are the concerns that NT Independent Commissioner Against Corruption, Michael Riches, announced following the acquittal that he would investigate allegations of improper conduct relating to the arrest. Following Rolfe's acquittal, a police colleague, who incidentally is otherwise not associated with Rolfe, decided he could stay silent no more. Writing in the NT Independent last April, Sergeant Mark Casey, a 25-year veteran, called out the police administration. He wrote, "There is the appearance that there has been deception, dishonesty, or at the very least, mistruths in relation to the circumstances of the decision to charge Zach with murder so quickly after the event." And he saved his most damning criticism for Commissioner Jamie Chalker. Again, he wrote, "After the trial, you gave a bumbling press conference and never mentioned the trial or Zach being found not guilty of any of the charges. You also strategically placed yourself where you could make a quick getaway and not answer any questions. You made sure Rolfe was served with a Section 79 disciplinary notice within 2 hours of being found not guilty, continuing your smear campaign. This has to stop." So what did the police executive do? Well, they immediately suspended Casey without pay. Only after a public outcry did they revise that to suspension with full pay. And as The Australian reported yesterday, the executive has now terminated Casey's employment. According to the decision maker, Assistant Commissioner Bruce Porter, Casey had shown a lack of remorse and had not apologised for the so-called misinformation he had caused to be published. Nor had he apologised for the discontent shown towards the Commissioner and senior executives of the Northern Territory Police Force. I've got news for you, Assistant Commissioner. It wasn't just Sergeant Casey who thought Rolfe's arrest was a stitch-up.
It was later revealed two detectives working on the case had raised serious concerns about the haste with which Constable Rolfe had been charged.
Extremely concerning that crucial elements of an extremely serious criminal coronial investigation were being hastened for no discernible justifiable reason.
While a different investigator records his concerns.
Arresting is premature. Need more time to examine facts outside of what the body-worn video captures.
But that afternoon, a direction is given. Zachary Rolfe is to be arrested and charged with murder.
Why was he charged so quickly, given they clearly had those concerns about how quickly this was being done?
And I can't give you an answer to that, Matt, because I wasn't involved in that. As the Commissioner, I've remained at arm's length from the investigation during the whole period of time.
Remained at arm's length? I very much doubt that, Commissioner. As The Australian reported last year, police notes show senior police executives, including Mr Chalker, met in the Deputy Commissioner Michael White's office at 3:34 p.m. on November 13, 2019. The afternoon, Constable Rolfe was charged with the murder of Indigenous man Kumanjayi Walker. Detectives investigating the case were called into the same office at 3:47 p.m. after Mr Chalker had left, where they were directed to arrest Constable Rolfe. And let's not pretend the police hierarchy wasn't conscious of political pressure, whether direct or otherwise. This was then Chief Minister Michael Gunner just days after the shooting, speaking to locals.
And the coroner will seek to answer those questions that you have, those questions that I have. And I can promise you that that investigation will be independent and the consequences will flow as a result of that investigation.
He was accompanied by Commissioner Chalker. Those comments were made the day before Rolfe's arrest. And this was then NT Independent Commissioner Against Corruption Ken Fleming speaking at a protest rally in Alice Springs the day after Rolfe's arrest.
One of the most important messages here today is Black Lives Matter. Anybody who says contrary to that is guilty of corrupt behaviour.
That sound you're hearing is natural justice flying out the window.